Industrial designers design alluring things, appealing things, interesting things. And appeal doesn't mean beautiful, necessarily. It can mean intriguing by many other measures, whether it be something like an aircraft carrier or Humvee. It doesn't have to look beautiful, but it does have to be intriguing. So industrial designers are inventors, and they're artists, and they look at the world through the lens of an engineer and the touch of an artist. They consider all elements of the design. They consider the visuals, they consider the sound, they consider the smell. So when you look at the crunch of the potato chip or the closing of the car door, that's part of the design. When you smell lilacs or smell leather, that's the art of design at work, when those are actually manipulated, much like an artist manipulates paints. And of course the visuals are a big part of what industrial designers do. And at the end of the day, the goal is to make something usable and appealing and intuitive and alluring and fun even. So that's all part of the design. So it looks at all of the senses involved with using something, and it can actually, industrial designers can actually look at experiences as well. Interfacing with telephone systems or other large communication systems, that's part of the world of design in sort of the virtual realm as well. But if you consider traditional industrial design, the inventing and the art put together, you can look at an example of how industrial designers work by considering something as simple as a utility knife, which cuts things. Very simple function. However, if you use a utility knife a lot, you realize there's more to it. One is you might want it to be interesting, so this is red like a Ferrari. But more importantly, you have to change the blade a lot. And let's look at how you change the blade on this thing. I'll use a screwdriver here to loosen the screw, which is already, or remove the screw, which has already been loosened. And I unscrew this, and since it's been loosened, it's easier. I take it out. Try to make this as fast as I can. You open up the knife, you remove the blade, the dull blade, and this little slider has come out. And the new blades are conveniently located in the handle, so I pull one out, I drop it, and I slide it into this holder, and I align the blade in like so. Okay. I hear a little snap there that suggests that it's in place. Close the lid, I test it, seems to work. I put the screw back in and fit it in there properly. Use my paper clip to tighten this to get started anyway. And so on. And there I've got a new blade, an almost tightened handle. Now an industrial designer would consider a design like this. This is the same function. It cuts things, the blade extends, a little bit longer, a little bit of a curved shape to it. But what I wanted to illustrate here was the designer considered what goes on in the process of changing a blade. So here you open this latch, you swing open the handle, the new blades are here, the old blade is here. I remove the old blade. Okay, there's a little magnet here that holds the blade in place. This sliding mechanism does not come out. I can pull out a new blade. There's several in here. I've got to slide that out of here. Whoops, I slid out several. I'll put that into the holder. I'll return these blades, which are held in with a little snap, and everything seems in place. I rotate this, it clicks, and I'm done. So you can see I don't have a little screw to lose here, which sounds like a joke I suppose, but I don't need a tool to open it. There's less likelihood of losing the trigger mechanism, and that's design in a more appealing way. It's looking at the whole user experience, even considering sustainability issues. So it's from point of purchase to disposal. You consider what goes on with this thing. What's involved with me buying it, what's involved with me using it, maintaining it, storing it, and throwing it away. And you can see you get two different results. Now you can have over-design in a way. You might argue that this is a tire gauge. So you're familiar with typical tire gauges. Well, this has everything on it. It's got lights that illuminate what your the tire, and it's got a digital display and all sorts of features on it. So is that over-designed? Well, that's subjective. It's got all sorts of neat things to it, but even though many things have been considered here, including a magnet holder and a tire gauge and all sorts of things, this is beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I suppose. Here's another design that is interesting. It's a flashlight design, and what I wanted to point out here is it's got this big ugly tablet on the lanyard, and what that's for is it's a breakaway point. Since this goes around your neck, you don't want to be strangulated if this thing gets entangled. And if you backpack, you realize that often you like to have a flashlight nearby, and to sleep with one around your neck is a very good thing. But this one has a breakaway feature, which is fine. But what's interesting is it's communicated to you with this big, bizarre thing right here. So it's not subtle. So you look at it and you either say, what is that? And you experiment and see that it works. You don't necessarily have to read a manual to see what that does. So this is another example. And also it's got a pull switch, so you pull this to turn it on, so you don't have to fumble for switches. And anyway, just wanted to show you a couple of examples of design. Thank you.